my audience, Nick. The issue that I'm going to discuss today is one that's relevant in my life and in a growing number of other people's lives as well. It's about online learning, and to start off, I'll give you a statistic. It's that between 1998 and 2008, the number of students who are taking online classes as part of their college course load has increased by 150%. And because of this, self-management of time and coursework is becoming more and more important for today's college students. And that's the issue I'm going to address. Although I wouldn't call this a serious issue, I would say it's one that definitely requires that we address it, because we're seeing such a shift from traditional in-class learning to learning in the virtual world. 65% of college students report having taken at least one online class. So over half of students are taking online classes, so it's becoming increasingly relevant in today's world of learning. It's even changing the way traditional classes are taught through hybrid learning, which is where there's elements of both online and typical in-class learning are taking place. And a really good example of this is Penn State's Angel Course Management System, where a lot of the work and the student resources are shifted to an online environment. For example, you go to normal classes, but then you take tests and quizzes through Angel, or get all your notes on Angel, or have online homework through Angel. And because of this online environment, the main problem that online learners have is that they just have a hard time staying on top of assignments. And this can be attributed to many things, but there's three main ones that I'm going to cover. The first is a lack of personal organization, and this can be detrimental to any kind of learning, but it's particularly problematic for online learners. Poor organization can lead to poor performance, because if you're not on top of things, assignments can easily start to slip, and people just forget stuff, and that happens. And a lot of the reason that happens is the second reason, which is a lack of a definite course structure with the online classes, because with regular classes, you usually have a structure of go to class, take notes in the class, get an assignment, and then finish that assignment for the next class. And with online learning, it's typically more like, here's a bunch of stuff, do it by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, do it when you want. And it's really easy to, with that system, it's really easy to say, I'll do it tomorrow or the next day, and you'll end up on Sunday night with a bunch of stuff to do in 2 hours, and you just put it all off, and you just don't have time to do it. And then what happens is, when you fall into the trap of the first two and you fall behind, there's often, or the third problem often arises, where there's a lack of interaction with your instructor. And this is one that may or may not have an impact on people. It really depends on how you interact with people. But to some, they'll feel like there's a disconnect with the professor, because they're not a real entity. It's kind of like they aren't really there. So it makes the professor seem less approachable when asking for help. So students are hesitant to ask, and may just try to tough through it and fall farther behind. So to recap, the three main issues are a lack of personal organization, a lack of definite course structure, and a lack of interaction with the instructor. So the first two of these can be solved pretty easily through good planning and time management practices. And one of the biggest things is as simple as using a planner. A lot of people recommend taking all of your syllabi at the beginning of the semester and putting them into one planner, just so you have everything you need right in front of you at one place, so you can see, I have this to do this week and this to do next week, and it's right at your fingertips. And then on top of that, you implement the second part, and which is developing a personal structure. Since you don't get a course structure, you need to make your own and sort of get into a rhythm throughout the week. So you just lay out your week in a way that suits your schedule and allows you plenty of time to get your work done. So it kind of tends to fall into place once you start. You'll start doing specific assignments at specific times on specific days in a way that works for you. So these things cover the issue with structure and organization. But then there's the third problem, which is in communication with professors. And this is a pretty simple fix. You just need to talk to them when you have issues or you're falling behind. They're not scary people. They don't want to see you fail. If you have a question or need help, just send them an email. It's pretty easy. The key is being proactive because they can't see you struggle, so you just can't be afraid to reach out. So, in all, these two tactics to helping online learners be successful and stay on top of their assignments, I personally feel they're both good advice, but I think that good planning and self-structure can sort of cancel the issues with communication. If you set yourself up to be successful and organized, you won't struggle so much and probably won't need to reach out for as much help. So I think that's the key. The main thing you want to focus on is organization and self-structure. That's it.